First, we have Republic Act number 98. It is an act prescribing a new scale of salaries allowable for certain civil service examinations. It is the creation of the Bureau of Vocational Education, or the Bureau of Civil Service, approved March 24, 1947. Next, we have Republic Act number 546. It is an act to amend Section 10 of Act numbered 4007, known as the Reorganization Law of 1932. It is the creation of the Office of the Board Examiners, now called PRC. Approved on June 17, 1950. Next, we have Republic Act number 1124. It is an act creating a Board of National Education charged with the duty of formulating general education policies and directing the educational interests of the nation. Date approved June 16, 1954. Next is the Republic Act number 1265. It is an act making flag ceremony compulsory in all educational institutions. June 11, 1955. Next is the Republic Act number 1425. It is an act to include in the curricula of all public and private schools, colleges, and universities courses on the life, works, and writings of Jose Rizal, particularly his novels Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo, authorizing the printing and distribution thereof, and for other purposes. It is called Batas Rizal, approved on June 12, 1956. Next is the Republic Act number 1700. It is an act to outlaw the Communist Party of the Philippines and similar associations, penalizing membership therein, and for other purposes. Date approved June 20, 1957. Next is the Republic Act number 3844. It is an act to ordain the Agricultural Land Reform Code and to institute land reforms in the Philippines, including the abolition of tenancy and the channeling of capital into industry, provide for the necessary implementing agencies, appropriate funds therefore, and for other purposes. It is called the Agricultural Land Reform Code of 1963, date approved August 8, 1963. Next is the Republic Act number 4090. It is an act providing for state scholarships in science, arts, and letters for poor but deserving students, creating a state scholarship council to integrate, systematize, administer, and implement all programs of scholarships, and appropriating funds therefore. Date approved June 19, 1964. Next is the Republic Act number 4670, or the Magna Carta for Public School Teachers. Date approved June 18, 1966. Next is the Republic Act number 5447. It is an act creating a special education fund to be constituted from the proceeds of an additional real property tax and a certain portion of the taxes on Virginia-type cigarettes and duties on imported leaf tobacco, defining the activities to be financed, creating school boards for the purpose, and appropriating funds therefore. Date approved September 25, 1968. Next is the Republic Act number 6014. It is an act creating the Students' Loan Fund Authority, prescribing its powers, functions, and duties, and authorizing the appropriation of funds therefore. August 4, 1969. Next is the Republic Act number 6139. It is an act to regulate tuition and other school fees of private educational institutions, providing for the settlement of controversies thereon and for other purposes. August 31, 1970. Next is Republic Act number 6655. It is an act establishing and providing for free public secondary education and for other purposes. It is called the Free Public Secondary Education Act of 1988, approved May 26, 1988. Next is the Republic Act number 6657. It is an act instituting a comprehensive agrarian reform program to promote social justice and industrialization, providing the mechanism for its implementation and for other purposes. It is called the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Law, approved June 10, 1988. Republic Act number 6713. It is an act establishing a code of conduct and ethical standards for public officials and employees to uphold the time-honored principle of public office being a public trust, granting incentives and rewards for exemplary service, enumerating prohibited acts and transactions, and providing penalties for violations thereof and for other purposes. February 20, 1989. Next is the Republic Act number 6728. It is an act providing government assistance to students and teachers in private education and appropriating funds therefor. It is called the Government Assistance to Students and Teachers in Private Education Act, June 10, 1989. It is amended by RA 8545. Republic Act number 6850. It is an act to grant civil service eligibility under certain conditions to government employees appointed under provisional or temporary status who have rendered a total of 7 years of efficient service and for other purposes. Approved February 8, 1990. Next is Republic Act number 6938. It is an act to ordain a cooperative code of the Philippines. Approved March 10, 1990. Republic Act number 6972. It is an act establishing a daycare center in every barangay, instituting therein a total development and protection of children program, appropriating funds therefor and for other purposes. It is called the Barangay Level Total Development and Protection of Children Act, approved November 23, 1990. Next is RA 7104. It is an act creating the Commission on the Filipino Language, prescribing its powers, duties, and functions, and for other purposes. It is called the Commission on the Filipino Language Act, or the Komisyon sa Wikang Filipino, approved August 14, 1991. Republic Act number 7160. It is an act providing for Local Government Code of 1991. Approved October 10, 1991. Next is the Republic Act number 7192. It is an act promoting the integration of women as full and equal partners of men in development and nation building and for other purposes. Approved February 12, 1992. Republic Act number 7277. It is an act providing for the rehabilitation, self-development, and self-reliance of disabled persons and their integration into the mainstream of society and for other purposes. It is called the Magna Carta for Disabled Persons, approved March 24, 1992. Next is the Republic Act number 7610. It is an act providing for stronger deterrence and special protection against child abuse, exploitation, and discrimination, and for other purposes. It is called the Special Protection of Children Against Abuse, Exploitation, and Discrimination Act, approved June 17, 1992. Next is Republic Act number 7624. It is an act integrating drug prevention and control in the intermediate and secondary curricula, as well as in the non-formal, informal, and indigenous learning systems, and for other purposes. Approved July 11, 1992. Next is Republic Act number 7687. It is an act further strengthening the science and technology program of the government, amending for the purpose Republic Act number 7687, otherwise known as the Science and Technology Scholarship Act of 1994. Approved March 2, 1994. Republic Act number 7722. It is an act creating the Commission on Higher Education, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes. It is called the Higher Education Act of 1994, approved May 18, 1994. Republic Act number 7743. It is an act providing for the establishment of congressional, city, and municipal libraries and barangay reading centers throughout the Philippines, appropriating the necessary funds therefore and for other purposes. Date approved June 17, 1994. Next is Republic Act number 7784. It is an act to strengthen teacher education in the Philippines by establishing centers of excellence, creating a teacher education council for the purpose, appropriating funds therefore, and for other purposes. Date approved August 4, 1994. Republic Act number 7796. It is an act creating the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority, providing for its powers, structure, and for other purposes. It is called the Technical Educational and Skills Development Act of 1994, date approved August 8, 1994. Republic Act number 7797. It is an act to lengthen the school calendar from 200 days to not more than 220 class days. August 25, 1994. Republic Act number 7836. It is an act to strengthen the regulation and supervision of the practice of teaching in the Philippines and prescribing a licensure examination for teachers and for other purposes. It is called the Philippine Teachers Professionalization Act of 1994. Date approved December 16, 1994. Republic Act number 7877. It is an act declaring sexual harassment unlawful in the employment, education, or training environment and for other purposes. It is called the Anti-Sexual Harassment Act of 1995. Date approved February 14, 1995. Republic Act number 8187. It is an act granting paternity leave of 7 days with full pay to all married male employees in the private and public sectors for the first 4 deliveries of the legitimate spouse with whom he is cohabiting and for other purposes. It is called the Paternity Leave Act of 1996, approved June 11, 1966. Republic Act number 8190. It is an act granting priority to residents of the barangay, municipality, or city where the school is located in the appointment or assignment of classroom public school teachers. Approved June 11, 1996. Republic Act number 8292. It is an act providing for the uniform composition and powers of the governing boards, the manner of appointment and term of office of the President of chartered state universities and colleges, and for other purposes. It is called the Higher Education Modernization Act of 1997, approved June 6, 1997. Republic Act number 8491. It is an act prescribing the code of the national flag, anthem, motto, coat of arms, and other heraldic items and devices of the Philippines. It is called the Flag and Heraldic Code of the Philippines. Approved February 12, 1998. Republic Act number 8525. It is an act establishing an Adopt a School program, providing incentives therefore and for other purposes. It is called Adopt a School Act of 1998, approved February 14, 1998. Republic Act number 8980. It is an act promulgating a comprehensive policy and a national system for early childhood care and development, or ECCD, providing funds therefore and for other purposes. It is called the Early Childhood Care and Development Act, approved on December 5, 2000. Republic Act number 9003. It is an act providing for an ecological solid waste management program, creating the necessary institutional mechanisms and incentives, declaring certain acts prohibited, and providing penalties, appropriating funds therefore, and for other purposes. It is called the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act of 2000, approved January 26, 2001. Next is Republic Act number 9147. It is an act providing for the conservation and protection of wildlife resources and their habitats, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes. It is called the Wildlife Resources Conservation and Protection Act, approved July 30, 2001. Republic Act number 9155. It is an act instituting a framework of governance for basic education, establishing authority and accountability, renaming the Department of Education, Culture and Sports as the Department of Education, and for other purposes. It is called the Governance of Basic Education Act of 2001, approved August 11, 2001. Republic Act number 9163. It is an act establishing the National Service Training Program, or NSTP, for tertiary level students, amending for the purpose Republic Act number 7077 and Presidential Decree number 1706, and for other purposes. It is called the National Service Training Program, or NSTP Act of 2001, approved January 23, 2002. Republic Act number 9262. It is an act defining violence against women and their children, providing for protective measures for victims, prescribing penalties therefore, and for other purposes. It is called the Anti-Violence Against Women and Their Children Act of 2004, approved March 8, 2004. Republic Act number 9293. It is an act amending certain sections of Republic Act number 7836, otherwise known as the Philippine Teachers Professionalization Act of 1994. Amended April 21, 2004. RA number 9485. It is an act to improve efficiency in the delivery of government services to the public by reducing bureaucratic red tape, preventing graft and corruption, and providing penalties therefor. It is called the Anti-Red Tape Act, approved June 2, 2007. Republic Act number 9700. It is an act strengthening the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program, extending the acquisition and distribution of all agricultural lands, instituting necessary reforms, amending for the purpose certain provisions of Republic Act number 6657, otherwise known as the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Law of 1988, as amended, and appropriating funds therefor. Amended August 7, 2009. Republic Act number 10157. It is an act institutionalizing the kindergarten education into the basic education system and appropriating funds therefor. It is called the Kindergarten Education Act, approved January 20, 2012. Republic Act number 10354. It is an act providing for a national policy on responsible parenthood and reproductive health. It is called the Responsible Parenthood and Reproductive Health Act of 2012. Approved December 21, 2012. RA number 10533. It is an act enhancing the Philippine basic education system by strengthening its curriculum and increasing the number of years for basic education, appropriating funds therefor, and for other purposes. It is called the Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013, approved May 15, 2013. Republic Act number 10588. It is an act institutionalizing the conduct of the Palarong Pambansa and appropriating funds therefor. It is called the Palarong Pambansa Act of 2013, approved May 27, 2013. Republic Act number 10612. It is an act expanding the coverage of the Science and Technology Scholarship Program and strengthening the teaching of science and mathematics in secondary schools and for other purposes. It is called the Fast Track Science and Technology Scholarship Act of 2013. Approved August 23, 2013. Republic Act number 10618. It is an act establishing rural farm schools as alternative delivery mode of secondary education and appropriating funds therefor. It is called the Rural Farm Schools Act, approved September 3, 2013. Republic Act number 10627. It is an act requiring all elementary and secondary schools to adopt policies to prevent and address the acts of bullying in their institutions. It is called the Anti-Bullying Act of 2013, approved September 12, 2013. Republic Act number 10648. It is an act providing scholarship grants to top graduates of all public high schools in state universities and colleges and appropriating funds therefor. It is called the Scholar ng Bayan Act of 2014. Approved November 27, 2014. Republic Act number 10931. It is an act promoting universal access to quality tertiary education by providing for free tuition and other school fees in state universities and colleges, local universities and colleges, and state-run technical vocational institutions, establishing the Tertiary Education Subsidy and Student Loan Program, strengthening the Unified Student financial assistance system for tertiary education and appropriating funds therefore. It is called the Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education Act of 2017. August 3, 2017. Republic Act Number 10963. It is an act amending sections 5, 6, 24, 25, 27, 31, 32, 33, 34, 51, 52, 56, 57, 58, 74, 79, 84, 86, 90, 91, 97, 99, 100, 101, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 112, 114, 116, 127, 128, 129, 145, 148, 149, 151, 155, 171, 174, 175, 177, 178, 179, 180, 181, 182, 183, 186, 188, 189, 190, 191, 192, 193, 194, 195, 196, 197, 232, 236, 237, 249, 254, 264, 269, and 288, creating new sections 51A, 148A, 150A, 150B, 237A, 264A, 264B, and 265A, and repealing sections 35, 62, and 89, all under Republic Act Number 8424, otherwise known as the National Internal Revenue Code of 1997 as amended, and for other purposes. It is called the Tax Reform for Acceleration and Inclusion, or TRAIN, December 19, 2017. Republic Act Number 11036. It is an act establishing a national mental health policy for the purpose of enhancing the delivery of integrated mental health services, promoting and protecting the rights of persons utilizing psychosocial health services, appropriating funds therefore, and for other purposes. It is called the Mental Health Act, approved June 20,